Well, hi, and a very good evening to you. My name's Chris. This is Felixstowe Live, and as usual, we're running late tonight. We're 12 minutes late, which is about the same as we were last week. It's one of those things that sometimes happens because you tend to do stuff at the last minute to make it as up to date as possible, and I guess sometimes things go wrong with that. So it's I'm sorry, just the way things go. Time to bring you up to date on what's happening from my point of view. We had a really interesting day yesterday, as you probably saw. We were dealing with two major stories. One was the business with the White Horse pub in Felixstowe, which I hope most people now know. Felixstowe Town Council's Planning and Environment Committee actually turned down, or should I say more correctly, recommended rejection of the plan from Punch Pubs to demolish the White Horse and actually build a convenience store on the site. Now, it's an interesting one because I don't know whether you saw the meeting yesterday, but I watched it online and there was a huge amount of support for the pub from our local councillors, which I actually was really delighted to see. I didn't know whether they'd managed to actually I don't know. I don't know whether I thought the town councillors will be behind it or not. I hope they would be behind refusing that plan, but you never quite know because they've got their own views and they are obviously partially driven sometimes by the political needs of what they do. So it's an interesting one, isn't it? I don't know whether we'd say that the safe, because I don't think it is in any way, shape, or form. What happens next with this is that when the period in which you, the public, are allowed to object has gone past, that should be, I think, on the 30th of June. At that point, it then starts to come up for a meeting with the council, East Suffolk Council, which is the planning authority for our area. Now that's a really quite a sticky one, to be honest with you. We don't know where that's going to go or where it's going to stand. Will it be rejected or will it be accepted? My feeling is that at the moment it feels like it's likely to be rejected, but you never quite know because obviously that council is made up of different members, that committee is made up of different members, and we're never entirely sure of what is going to happen next. So there you have it. But one of the things that we're doing right now, and I was going to do this later in the show because we have a tech problem going on all the time, don't we? Is that we've done something that I think is, or I hope is interesting. We've started up a new Facebook page, which is this one, which is the I see. I'm having an interest. We do have an interesting time, don't we? There we go. And that's a new Facebook page for Save the White Horse Pub, Felixstowe. That's what it's called. You can join it right now. It was started about, I guess, 15 minutes ago. And in that time, we've got up to, I don't know, 10 or 20 members. Who knows? It's rushing along quite well. So if you would like to join that group, you're hugely welcome to do so. Please join. We'd love to have you on board. And people can actually talk to each other and start to discuss what is happening with the White Horse because we want to save it. No questions. Okay, let's go down my page and just see what's happening next. Yep, good with that. Okay, so that's that one. Now, as you know, last week we had a chat with a lady called Emma Harris Curtis. And Emma is one of the people who got really behind trying to save the pub, and she's kind of pushed at it a lot. And I'm really proud of what she's done, pleased with what she's done. I think she's done an amazing job. And what we're going to do is have a chat with her now. Now, this was pre-recorded, really for technical reasons on my behalf and for practical reasons on her behalf. She had to take her daughter to her gym classes, and that's pretty important. You can't knock that one. So what we're going to do now is have a listen to the conversation that Emma and I recorded a bit earlier today. We were talking specifically about the results of that council meeting and where we go from here. So let's just get rid of this graphic. There we go. And then we'll meet young Emma, and she'll fill us in on what she's been working on, which is something called assets of community value. Maybe. So from the Felixstowe Society yesterday at the meeting, at the committee meeting, we discovered that this is actually a pub that was designed by Cotman, which makes it important. It's one of only 20 buildings in Felixstowe, apparently, designed by Cotman. Tell me a bit more about what this means to us and how we can use this, perhaps, as another lever to kind of hold on to this property.
Well, yeah, that's brilliant. The fact that it's been confirmed that it's a definite Cotman's building is perfect. And these buildings around Felixstowe are usually nominated to be preserved under something called a asset of community value. This allows us to protect the property for at least 5 years. I'm assuming obviously it can be renewed after that, but during these 5 years, should the owner of the property, obviously that being Punch, decide that they want to sell the property, they have to inform the East Suffolk Council, and then they have to inform us. In order to get this title of asset of community value, we need to get together 21 signatures. Obviously, I am finding out more information as to what forms we need to fill in and things like that. But once we get that, we can apply to the East Suffolk Council. It takes about 8 weeks for us to get confirmation as to whether or not it's going to be accepted. If it is accepted, and as I said, Punch do decide to sell the property, we are given a 6 months period to give a chance to try and raise money as a community to purchase that property. And during those 6 months, Punch, obviously, if they decide they want to sell the property, they can't seal a sale at all. It doesn't give us right to, over anybody else to buy that property, but it gives us a chance to make a bid. I think it's something that will be extremely good for the community. The one thing that came across very strongly in the town council by the councillors themselves is that this is a beloved pub, a beloved building, and they don't want to lose it. That little pocket of Felixstowe is dripping with information of history of Felixstowe. As I said, I've rambled in my posts on many occasions. We've got the Grade 2 listed church, 16th century church. We've got Georgian terraces. They've got Victorian cottages. And also something we've also forgotten about is behind some of those cottages is the Italian, Villa Italia, which was the old Italian embassy before, I believe, the Italians deflected in the World War II. So that area is something that we really do need to look after. And hopefully we will. Obviously, I'm going to pop in and see the pub themselves tomorrow. I can't wait to go in and, have a chat with them. Or chat with the locals, should I say, which is probably my family, and see what we can do and see if we can drum up some signatures. So, as you quite rightly said, this is the first hurdle that we've won, which is fantastic. There are many reasons why the town council obviously are recommending a refusal, but now I believe it's to go to the district planning. We just have to wait and see. We can't stop. It's a case of keep adding, your objections, keep sharing the post. Anybody in Suffolk obviously has to be under the Suffolk title, your postal code. We can object. We've got to keep doing. Well, haven't got to, but I would like to keep doing it because this building is stunning. So much history. And I believe there's also a rumour that many, many years ago that somebody famous used to be in this pub. So again, that's something we need to look into and see what we can come up with.
Okay. Now, I know you've got to rush off shortly, but there's a couple of things I want to raise with you and get you to think about. The first one, I'll show you this and see what you think of this. Now, this is what the pub's managing director, Punch Pub's managing director, said. The bit at the top is fine. He's saying that the White Horse no longer fits with him. And then he says, whilst we have not been approached by anybody within the community, we may remain open to all offers made at a market level. Now, I'd like to tell you something and get a quick response from you. First thing to say, a gentleman called Graham Clark actually got in touch with Punch Pubs and he made them an offer. He actually made them an offer and said, I'd like to buy this on behalf of the community and then kind of work with the community to run it. And the pub company said, it's not for sale.
Yes, I
and
did.
That means that managing director has been telling us porcupines.
Yeah, again, that's something that was quite obvious in the town council meeting yesterday, that the whether it's lies legally that they can say or it's just things that they have decided to not disclose. I think if this planning proposal is refused at the next stage, I think maybe Punch may reconsider Mr. Clark's option. I think it's a wonderful thing that he's done. I absolutely applaud him for it. I'd like to thank him for it. But I think it's just a case of wait to see what happens at the next stage. It'd be interesting to see what Punch's reaction will be at, if the district planning take heed from the Felixstowe Town Council and obviously takes us up and saying, rejected. I just think it's lovely what Mr. Clark has done.
Excellent. Okay. One more thing. We don't have a Facebook page at the moment. Shall we set one up?
Yeah, I have to admit, I don't know how to do that.
I'll do it tonight and I'll put you onto it. And everybody else can join in because by the time we go out with this show, we'll have it finished and it'll be ready to use. So if you want to get involved, I'll put a bit of detail up later, but I'll make you one of the administrators, I'm afraid. Sorry.
No, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to do that. Okay, I mean, what we've done so far is amazing. What was it? 217 objections. I think there was only one person for. Obviously, they've got their private reasons. I'm not going to argue with them. No. I accept. Not everybody's going to agree with us. It's just one of those things. I accept that. Everybody's entitled to it.
Okay, so we're going to leave it there because you're going to take your daughter to gymnastics. I'm sad to learn that you're not actually joining in and bouncing about like a mad woman, but we'll see you soon and we'll have a chat on the Facebook page, Save the White Horse.
Thank you very much.
And there you have it, Save the White Horse. And this is the page we're talking about. Save the White Horse Pub, Felixstowe, and I hope you can get along to that webpage on Facebook and have a look at that and join in the conversation. Let's really keep this one going for as long as we can and actually build up a bit more momentum to kind of stop this, I think, silly development and actually preserve this nice pub. It's in an area where there are no other pubs. The nearest pubs are, or the nearest bars, let's say, are the FBI down at Felixstowe Ferry and the main town centre pub. What can you say? Or hotel, should we say. So what can you say to that? There's nowhere for people in that area to go for a drink and a meal other than those two opportunities. They're the nearest. You can get into you can get into the FBI, which is jolly nice. You can get into town centre pubs, but they're a long way away. So let's support and try and save this pub. It seems like a really worthwhile thing to do. Okay, that's going to nail our programme for today. If you have any other views or anything to say, I'd love to hear from you. We haven't had any feedback on the show. We've had a few loves and a few likes, which is always good, and it's nice to see you. Okay, I'm Chris. This is Felixstowe Live. and I will see you soon.